Right, we have an actual horror game to watch because I was in the mood for a horror game. I generally am, but I particularly felt the nudge on this slow and quiet Sunday. And the game that I managed to find is called Dead End Grind. And what it is a sort of a strategy planning type game in which you are the floor manager for Dr. Frankenstein in his workshop, in which he makes Frankensteinian monster zombie type entities. And he needs a number of them, and you need to make a number of them. And well, let's jump in. I will show you the gameplay and the workshop setup, and then we'll just play the game a little bit, maybe finish the level, maybe not, but then we will talk about some critique about the game. And there are no sound controls, so I have muted it, but there is suitable music playing and sound effects for each stage, so the sounds are pretty good. But let's jump in and I'll show you around. Let's maximize the screen and we can start the game. Each of the levels has a different sort of workshop layout, at least from what little I've seen so far. I really wish there were sound controls. Anyway, jumping in. So this is our first monster. If we click on him, we can see his stats and the tasks he has assigned. So he has 6 hit points. Basically, it means he can do 6 tasks before he needs to take a union-mandated coffee break, as the text said. He has quite a slow walk speed, a fairly decent work ethic, and a lot of enthusiasm. And then he has to do all of the 6 tasks because he is the only monster that we have at the moment. So his first job is to collect a body that has been delivered to us by the grey robbers. Then he washes the body. Then he has to kind of reassemble it in the correct shape. Then he has to chop it up so it can be reattached suitably with various machines. Then there's the reassembly kind of reattachment o-matic device that does its thing. And then the zombie gets to be woken up by pulling a lever. And now the new zombie gets given to us and we need to assign the tasks. So he needs to share activities in the workshop. So we can tell the new one to retrieve body parts and to clean body parts. He has to have a minimum of 2 tasks. And then let's also say sort body parts. So we'll give him 3 tasks, and the other zombie we will remove those 3 tasks from. Now note you can't remove other tasks, which is a bit of a pain, but we'll work on that. So now he goes off there to move between the tasks he has been given, but there are nobody's there while we wait for this guy to wash the body and then assemble it. And that's fine, because now we have a production line, of course. So, we've got one doing the work, and one doing the first 3 items of the work, and one doing the next 3 items of the work. And while he's busy doing the next 3 items, this one will hopefully have a new body waiting for him. And that's fine. The problem comes because each of these guys, when they're generated, have a different set of stats. And if you have a really terrible one, you have a serious problem. See, this one's another good one, which is fantastic. So I'm going to give him the next 3 tasks, and then the next one I'll give the first 3 to, and they can share, because they do get in each other's way, especially if one is a slower mover or slower worker or something like that. So he's finished, and he got there first. Now he can't do anything. Oh, he still attempts to do it because there is still a body in there. You were going to give the first 3 tasks to. So oh boy, he looks awful. No, Is he stuck behind someone? Okay, yeah, I think he was just stuck somewhere. Oh, this is the new guy. I'm like, why can't I close this? Let's give you the middle 2 tasks. You can get in the way there. But we have reached our quota, so we're doing absolutely fine. We just have to wait for the time to run out now. And it doesn't matter if they get in each other's way a little bit. This was much better than the previous games I played. See, in the first game I played, I got a really, really low-statted worker. And he was terrible. He just got in the way and took ages to do a task. And yeah, anyway, look, that's the gameplay, and I'm interested to get into the critique. So seriously, come and play it. Once you finish the level, there is a different level layout that the next levels sort of presents to you, and I think the same task, probably more of a quota to accomplish. So we'll leave that up for the moment and talk about it. So if you are here just to see the gameplay, the link is in the description. Come and play the game. Come and give the dev some love. All of the instructions are here in the page for you. Yeah, play the game. So there's also a downloadable client if you prefer, and all of that kind of stuff. But this is obviously playable in the browser. Thank you for watching the video. Please click like if you liked the video. A dislike if you disliked it, but you know, nobody wants that. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more Itch.io games reviewed. Not just Itch.io games in general, but I'm mostly focusing on Itch.io because there is just a huge swarm of them there to look at, you know, and it's a game a day that I'm trying to maintain. So yeah, really subscribe, see the games, and then also I give critique about the games. So you know, if you're interested in the game design side of things, and my opinions on it, which are mediumly qualified, subscribe and you will get a steady stream of that, and I think it's quite interesting. But then that's me, and I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't. So I don't know why I'm talking in circles. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. If, however, you are here for the critique, well, where do we start? We start with the UI. Visually, the UI is great. I mean, as you can see, it looks neat. It's laid out. I like the text. Is this Comic Sans? I don't know. It might be. I don't really know fonts, and this is some kind of horror font. But I like Comic Sans, and I'm not afraid to say it. And this is, if not it, then a slightly spookier variant of it, I guess. I don't know. Either way, I like it, and I don't know why people don't like it. But yeah, I think the UI and everything looks nice. If we just can't close it because I haven't given them things. If we reload the page and run back to the beginning, the start menu I am less certain about. I think this needs a little bit of tidying up, a little bit of formatting and polish. It seems, I don't know. Hide the levels behind a drop down. Or something, give the credits there. And of course the main thing that is missing, that is my usual complaint, is that there are no sound controls. Please set the controls so you can turn the music off at very least and still keep the game sounds. Not that there is a problem with the music was super appropriate. It's just that some people think better without the music there in their ears, for games that require sort of thinking and puzzling and strategizing. It's quite important for some players, and for YouTubers who aren't sure about copyright and things like that, it's nice to be able to play safe and turn the sound off. Just little things like that. But as a personal thing, I really like to see the sound controls as part of the UI polish. So think about that. Otherwise, the sounds are great, and the UI is perfectly functional, at least in terms of using it and the general theming of it. Start menu needs a little bit of work once you're in the game, but it's fine. It's fine. But we're going to talk about the game controls in a bit. The sounds, as I said, the sounds are great. The art is really, really nice. The workshop design, it's just cartoony enough to be fun and just sort of detailed enough to be able to see what's going on, but not too much because it is grim things that we're watching being done. It's the art. I think there are very, very few complaints about the art. If we reload this, I just want to have a quick look at one of the later levels. We can actually zoom as well. What is that? Not sure what that is. I mean, this is a really great. I mean, this looks good. This looks. I really like the way this game looks, and I'm jabbering now. So let's reload that and stop being distracted. The game feeling. I'm going to combine this with the sort of the immersion elements and some UI critiques in terms of how the gameplay works. I get why it is the way it is, but I think it can be polished up a little bit more. I don't like that you can't. This is tricky to say because obviously there are game design considerations here. You have to apply the difficulties in the game in some way. And the difficulty here is I suppose the roll of the dice, and that you might get a bad monster, and you want to be able to get the others to work around them. You need to deal with that. But it would be nice if once the monster was created and you look at him and you go, these are awful stats, if you could then like undo him or get rid of him and lose that progression in your, in your quota. I think that might be a bit less frustrating than having to then work around the zombie, or at least to have that choice. Maybe the zombies have to fight to get rid of him, and you end up with losing 2 in the quota. You have to do 2 to catch up. I don't know. I think that might be more interesting. That kind of choice for the player, that kind of gameplay mechanic. Yeah, I just wish there was a way that you didn't have to have the bad ones going into your production. And yes, I get that is probably a game mechanic to give the player some difficulty to work around, to some of the challenge, but it is annoying to people who like efficiency and like games like this, because you get to implement efficiency, and that does make it difficult. If that makes any sense at all. I don't like the fact that you can't get rid of the bad zombie workers. You have to kind of implement them in some way, and it's difficult to implement because they get in each other's way. I don't know. I mean, look, you can have 2 working at a table. Maybe the point is that you're supposed to just get them working at the table and hope that the faster ones manage to go past them. Is that possibly the mechanic there, the mechanism? I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, it was something that I've been struggling with a little bit in terms of enjoying the game. Like I said, there is no sound controls. There's no real controls otherwise. It would be nice if more things in the game were clickable to have a look at them. A little more background detail in the workshop that you could look at and get information about. There is a huge lump of text here on the game page, and all of this needs to be in the game. It's another kind of bugbear of mine of the itch.io environment, is that the game makers do tend to put huge amounts of information here, and then what, your game is stuck in itch.io because of this all of this text. What about people who just click on it and try to get into the game and then go, oh, your game's terrible, it doesn't tell you how to do it because all of this is here. This is hugely useful info and very, very well written. I really like this. But it should be in the game, and there should be kind of more context presented to you in the game. An intro of some sort, some kind of information lump that sort of goes, this is who you are, this is how you've gotten hired. When you click start game, there should be a couple of screens that come up that either have all of this text in them, or even better, sort of image versions of this text that just sort of show you give you some of the storyline, some of the context and things like that. And maybe after you finish a round, a couple of more screens that show you being congratulated or yelled at by Dr. Frank, the silhouette of Dr. Frankenstein. Something along those lines. And possibly, in terms of storyline, some sort of connection to the sort of the original storyline. If your monsters get frustrated, maybe there's a risk that one of them breaks out and runs off down to the village and causes trouble there, as Frankenstein did in the original novel, or something like that. Or maybe you have to set up defenses against the villagers coming with their pitchforks and torches to try and deal with you. You have to deal with them as a sort of an event, a gameplay based event. I don't know. There's so much potential here to expand out into this game a bit more. Again, just to make it clear to anybody watching, I do think that the game in itself is a really good playable game. Otherwise, I wouldn't be showing it in a video. These are suggestions to try and improve it. I just want to make that clear. Yeah, so the immersion elements, I think there should be more storyline in the game, more instructions in the game than there are. There are good instructions in there, but they are within the context of all of this information, and I think this is well written, clever information that needs to be in the game. So I'm hoping there is a plan to expand the UI, the intro, the explanations, things out there. I think there needs to be sound controls, and otherwise, I think the main menu needs to be tidied up a bit. I think that's a summary of all of the things I wanted to point out. Otherwise, fantastic game. Come and play it, people. I enjoyed it a lot. I am continuing to enjoy it. I need to play through all the levels. I haven't yet. And I do thank you for creating the game and putting it out there. And I hope to see you in the next video. Come and play the game. Goodbye.